Back with Kevin now. Kevin, another question comes in from John. Can you explain the salary cap and how teams like Galaxy and New York, how did they make it so they can bring in so many big money players into this league?
I can't explain the salary cap in this format. It's very complicated. Some of us have some of those same questions about New York, and I'll leave it at that. In the case of LA, they don't actually have a lot of real high-priced players right now. You know, they've got Landon and they've got Robbie, and those are designated players. So the interesting thing with our league is while we have a hard salary cap, the designated players actually create a situation where literally you could spend as much money as you want on those three players. If a team in our league wanted to go out and sign Lionel Messi, they could do that. Because he only counts it as a certain number against the salary cap. But it's all of the other players that really create the issues. So you know what the salary cap is for your DPs, and you know how to manage that. In our case, we're hoping to create an environment where at a given time we have 2 senior DPs and 2 young DPs. The fourth one being part of a new league program where the league would actually own the players' pass. We think that's a better way to apportion our salary cap money. The guys that really tend to make or break your team in a lot of ways are all the guys that are in the middle range of the salary cap, and you have to be really careful that you don't have too many of them, so you have just a whole bunch of high average players on your team.
It's a sore point for a lot of our fans to look up the standings and see, of all teams, Montreal there at the top of the Eastern Conference. How long do you think it'll realistically take for Toronto to reach a level like Montreal?
Not necessarily that long. I mean, Montreal has built their team in a little bit different way. They have a lot of veteran players, older veteran players. Alessandro Nesta and Marco Di Vaio are very, very good players, and obviously everybody knows their pedigree, but they're well into their 30s. They're past 35, and congratulations to them. They're doing a good job. I think in the second half of this season that we'll be, if we can sign the players we're looking to sign, I think that we'll be playing at a level similar to that. We've created a bit of a challenge for ourselves with some of the results that we let slip away in the first half, but we have played quite well in virtually every game this year. We're lacking a little talent maybe in the attacking end, a little creativity that we plan to address. We certainly expect to be as good as or better than Montreal in the years to come.
You mentioned a lot of the Toronto FC young players that are there. There's a good young core of players. Now, do you find the Reserve League is doing it for you right now, or is there some other avenue that you'd like to explore? So Alan asks, he'd like to know about plans for next season, affiliation or launching a 3rd division team.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in the Reserve League. I think that it'll be far more productive when all of our teams can be affiliated with a minor league team, as is done in other sports. We are well along in conversations about an affiliation agreement that we think will make a great deal of sense to us. I'd much rather have our young players getting real games in a professional environment, in front of fans, under the lights, where the games matter. And frankly, I also, to be really candid, not everybody that we have to put on our rosters in order to fill out a reserve team realistically has a chance to make it in MLS. So I'd rather that we share the cost of that with somebody who's operating a lower division team where those players probably belong. And so we can focus our time and energy and money on players that we think really have a chance to make it in our league.
Well, we'll take a quick break here one more time, and we'll be back with our final segment with President and General Manager Kevin Payne.